Hello students, today I will explain the present simple tense. The present simple tense expresses a fact. For example, the sun rises in the east, but not in the west. Another example, water boils at 100 Celsius. It also expresses a habit or a daily routine. Example, my father always gets up at 6 a.m. I usually play football with my friends on Friday. It also expresses timetable. For example, the plane to Paris leaves at 11 a.m. Another example, the train from Alexandria arrives at 5 p.m. There are some key words that show the present simple tense in the sentence, like always, usually, often, sometimes, never, occasionally, rarely, scarcely. How about the form? How can we form the present simple? When the subject is singular, like he, she, it, we use verb plus s, or es, or ies. When do we add es? When the verb ends with ss, sh, ch, o, or x, like go. He goes, she goes, it goes. How about ies? Ies, when the verb ends with y and before it there is a consonant, cancel y and add ies instead. Let's take some examples here. Study, studies, try, tries, carry, carries. Here, the verb ends with y and before it there is d, a consonant. So we cancel y and add ies instead. But when we have a verb like play, play is why? Why did you add s here? Why didn't you cancel y? Because before y there is a vowel, not a consonant. So we keep y and add s. Another example is stay. It will be stays. And take care that this happens when the subject is he, she, it, or singular. Let's move and complete to talk about the form here. When the subject is plural, or I, we, you, they, we use the infinitive. So no s is added here to the verb. For example, get up, play, study. There is no s to this kind of verbs here. When the subject is I, we, you, or they. Let's take example here. My parents never get up. My parents never get up late. Another example, I sometimes ride my bike with my friends in the park. I ride. My parents get. No s is added here. How can we talk about negative form in the present simple? Go back to he, she, it. When the subject is he, she, it, or singular subject, we use doesn't plus infinitive. Let's take example here. She doesn't help her mother in the kitchen. She doesn't help. But when we say she never helps her mother in the kitchen, with never, we don't use doesn't. But she never helps. We move to I, we, you, they. In the negative form, we use don't plus infinitive. For example, we don't go. We don't go to school on Friday. Another example, they don't speak Arabic in the class. They don't speak Arabic. But how? How can we make yes, no question? We start with does. When the subject is he, she, it. So, yes, no question, always starts with does, plus he, she, or it, plus infinitive. Our example is, does your father take the metro to work? Again, does your father take, does plus infinitive. Another example, does your teacher ask you to do a research project? Does your teacher ask? Again, does plus infinitive here. Yes, but when we have I, you, we, they, we start our question with do. Do I, do we, do you, do they, plus infinitive. Example, do you usually study your lessons after school? Do, study, do plus infinitive. Another example is, do they often go on a school trip? Again, do they often go on a school trip? Again, do plus go infinitive. How can we form a WH question in the present simple? We start with the question word plus does when we have he, she, or it, plus infinitive. So WH question will be a question word plus does plus he, she, or it plus infinitive. Let's take an example here. Where does she usually spend her summer holiday? Does spend. Yes, but when we have I, we, you, they, we use do instead. So to make a WH question, when the subject is I, you, we, they, we start with question word plus do plus I or you or we or they plus infinitive. Let's take an example here. How often do you go to the gym? How often do you go to the gym? And with this, we come to the end of our grammar lesson, and see you next time. Thank you.